Hi, everybody. My name is Splattercat, and we're here today at the Nerd Castle playing another episode of Craft the World. If you were watching the previous episode, you will see that we put in like a little hatch thing right there, which I believe I just canceled. And let me put in another ladder so that my guys can escape from the dark, briny deep. I don't know if the deep here is briny, but it seems briny to me. I mean, there's lots of sodium in all forms of Earth, so I assume that it's probably at least a little briny. Let's throw that ladder right there. I don't know why that ladder wasn't in place. Maybe I clicked it off on accident. And then what I'd like to do is maybe go through some of my dwarves and make sure that we may be able to heal them on up. And I don't even know what just happened right there. I don't know if it captured that, but the game just sort of decided to die on me. So you'll bear with me for a moment if that skipped for a moment. Or a few seconds. Or a minor amount of time. Not trying to be punny because half my population is minors, but, you know. Let's go ahead and get everybody sleeping and relaxing because we've got an invasion coming in really soon. And if I can get people off to bed, I think we'll be in better shape. I think it's going to take them a little while, though, to get healed up from where they're at, so we may have to start dropping some potions if it gets really ugly. We'll have to drop those potions like they're hot. That's right, all of our healing potions at this domicile, they come in... What in the hell is this? What are you guys doing right now? Stop that. Like, there. That's what I want. That is the configuration that I desire. But as I was saying, all of our healing potions in this society, they come in only habanero flavor. You can either do that or they come in chorizo, and it depends if you like chorizo or not, but mostly what we have, I feel like they're hitting a lot harder than they used to. Maybe it's just because they're piled up, though. I'm not sure. In any case, though, what we need to handle now... Oh, good, I have a bunch of guys that are trapped down here. Well, we'll put in a portal, which will allow them to escape briefly. And then what I think I'll do is let's turn off the speedy move. And we'll close that down for just a second. And in our equipment menu, that's what I wanted. I'm looking for the menu that I desire. What we'll do is we'll start running through and kind of healing everybody up, because in the past few episodes, we made sure that we made a load of healing potions, and while they are habanero flavored, hopefully we'll be able to belch flame or at least exude flame from other areas. Given that my experience with spicy foods is that they both go in and come out that way, there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just part of the process. I suppose they're acidic going in, they're acidic going out. Now then, everybody's looking pretty. His name is Kane. How badass is that? You know that he's got to kick a lot of asses if his name is Kane. In the previous episode, it appears as though I made a bunch of silver armor and then never equipped it on anybody, because that's how we like to roll here at the Nerd Castle. Oh my god. Maybe I should put those on people so that they aren't all running around half nude with animal skins as protection. If the skin didn't protect the animal well enough to keep it alive, why do we trust it to keep us alive? And that is the mantra that we've used in order to forge better armors for ourselves. Now then, his name is Hane. We have Hane and Kane. I like to think that they travel down the lane and do battle whilst insane in the brain and deal pain and ride trains. And I think I'm just about out of rhymes. There we go. I think I've tapped it out. I believe in the previous episode people died. That's why we've got extra units sitting around. Got a lot of extra boots to equip, so maybe I'll do that too. Anybody else? Yay, nay? Alright, so we've now got equipment done. And we've got one Santa suit left, and the Santa suit turned out to be really good. So let's equip that on somebody so that they can get the job done properly. The job-o-moiter. And then once we've been done moitering people, I think I saw people that didn't have hats too. Yeah, there's no hat on you, so I'll give you a leather hat. I mean, I know I just railed against the leather, and the leather is probably not feeling me right now. The leather is like, my owner is just a jackass. He hates us all for being leather. Are you trapped in your own trap? Like, really? I don't think he was, but I felt like he was trapped in his own trap, and that's all that matters. It's the way you feel about the whole thing. And what is going on over here? We have some kind of weird pre-battle epileptic seizure occurring. You're supposed to beat the enemy until they have seizures, not until you have seizures, sir. There are a lot of guys spawning on us. I'm gonna speed up the action a little bit because I like to get more things done in an episode than you would at the default speed, but we've got a lot of these big guys up here. Hopefully they'll stand back and they won't get themselves beat to death trying to fight the big dudes. Looks like they're running away again. God, these invasions are really getting very, very girthy. They're definitely beginning to kind of travel with some weight. In the earlier game, these invasions were a little bit more challenging, but they definitely didn't kill you off. In this case, I'm finding that I have a lot of dwarves that are barely making it through. Let's send everybody that's wounded off to go sleep. A 2 Matar indeed. And we should be able to finish off the remaining few over here. And that's going to give us a bunch of things to cart around, unfortunately. Everybody should be about ready to go to sleep. Okay, so our post-battlefield nap. There's nothing a dwarf likes better than getting nice and pissed. Gotta get yourself all up on the rocks before you go to sleep. That's how they fall asleep so well every single night. Clean consciences and also being super, super drunk. Now then, let's place another block right there. And let's try and remember what we were working on in the previous episode. I think I was after a lot of these resources down here. I'd like to gather up this water and clear it on out because that's creating a major problem for us. We do have this mining operation that's functioning off on this side. And I would prefer that we grab all the stuff out of the walls while we're here. I had heard that if you cast that on the same spot, it's almost like a healing spell for that. Cool. Awesome. Somebody had emailed me about that like a week ago, and I had completely and totally forgotten about it. But you can heal your teleportation portals by just clicking on them. It'll add more time to them. It just goes... I would be happier if it made like a little noise, like a little raccoony noise that would make everything feel as though it was advancing properly. Now then, you guys had suggested that I dig down into the tunnel over here. And I think that's a pretty good idea. And I may do just that in a minute, but for now, we've got to wait for everybody to be healed. But once everybody's healed, we'll see if there's a teleportation portal in there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get anything done with it, or if it's just going to end our LP. I'm only going to do this level, so if you guys have been enjoying the series so far, I was only planning on doing this level. Maybe in the future we'll come back and do one of the bigger ones. But for now, I'm a little bit worried that if I go down in here and I find the portal, I'm going to feel the inclination to end the series, and I'm still having fun with it. It's still getting a lot of you guys are still coming along and watching it, so typically when I'm at like, if you want to look behind the curtain for how this works for an LP, or usually by the time you're at like the 20th episode or so, what you run into is like nobody cares about the series anymore. They don't want to watch it, they don't really give a flying shit, like a shit flying through the air. They don't care about it anymore, and so they decide just to move on and do the other series, and they kind of run through. But what I found with Craft the World is that you guys are totally kind of buckled in, I suppose, at this point for the series, and I would feel bad for leaving it. Let's go ahead and get some mining done here. How is our sleep patrol doing? Everybody's still out cold. I could get this done a little bit quicker by dropping some healing potions, but that's something I'm going to resist the urge to do at the moment. I'm going to hold on to them for later. I don't know how this thing's going to go once we start fighting dragons and things of that nature. I feel as though our food table is empty, so let's refill that. From our food menu, we've got a lot of bread, so we'll take the bread. We've got some fish stew. I'd like to get rid of that so it's not clogging up my inventory. I've got a couple of grilled steaks, but I think I'm just going to go with the fish stew for now. And we'll fill everything else up with bread. Awesome, so that should keep us tided over for the next little bit at least. Let's have a look at our crafting tree and figure out what we've got to do today in order to keep moving. Let's see here. We were on this end. We were on, that's right, we had that porthole type deal. Let's go ahead and run over to our, I said rump over to our crafting menu, and rumping it over to the crafting menu sounds like you like pull down your pants, or at least you put on one of those doctor's gowns so that your rump is protruding, and then you kind of make your way somewhere, walking backwards, so that you're kind of rumping your way towards somebody. But in any case, we needed to make our way down here, and we needed to put in, I forget what this thing is called, it's called like a pinhole or something of that nature. They're going to place that there, and what that does is it functions as a little bit of a pillbox. We can fire out of that, but the enemy can't get at us. I'm not really sure if they have to destroy it first or how it works. It might be worth deploying for our archers on this side, since it seems like this is the side where the enemies always attack us from. Once that's deployed, it's going to open up the stone loophole, so we'll break that down now that we've put it up, because I don't see it kind of getting into a lot of action right there. Back in our crafting menu, we've got what looks like some sort of flag right there. So since I can't select it from here, let me go through my crafting menu and we'll try and figure out what the new stuff is. The new kids on the block, as it were. We've got a flag. What does it do? Nothing. It's just a flag. Okay, I'm down with decorative objects, so I don't care about that. We'll go ahead and start with the ropes, and we need a little bit of extra wood too, which for the first time in our lives, we have loads and loads of wood around. We've crafted ourselves a flag. Does that need to be done right now, or can I instantly deploy it? Great, I can instantly deploy it. So I'm going to put it up here on the roof. Oh, that's not centered properly. Maybe I'll put it up there then. That might work out. We'll put it right there, and then once the flag is deployed, let's go back because I saw there was some new equipment. There's a silver axe of some sort. So let's go to our crafting menu since my menus aren't working the way I want them to right now. I don't think we have a ton of silver ore right now, but the silver axe seems like it might be something worth equipping. Oh, it lumbers better. Okay, it's not a weapon. It's just something that we use for our general trade skills. That's cool. We'll make one of those then. And we've also got that helmet. So let's make ourselves a... Oh, we need silver ingots, which unfortunately we do not have. Let's find silver ingots on our crafting menu, and we need some silver for those, clearly. And then we need a little bit of coal, too. So there's 2 more, and once those are done, we'll create ourselves 1 silver helmet to advance the crafting tree. At the moment, everybody seems to be happy with their leather helmets. I mean, nobody's demanding the right to be metallic at the moment, so at least we don't have some crazy weapons rally going on among all of our dwarven friends who are like, give us better helmets! That would be kind of a weird situation to be in. I've never been in a pro helmet rally. You show up and everybody's just totally ranting like, give us helmets! We don't want to sell it. That's the only thing that I could come up with that would rhyme with helmets. Like we've got... Yeah, there's pretty much nothing. Helmet's a tough word. It's one of those words like orange. Although statistically I know orange doesn't have a rhyme. Like orange simply doesn't have anything in the English language that rhymes with it. Let's make some... Why does it take a plank to make thread? That's weird. I'm not going to ask too many questions about it, but I suppose we'll make a bit of thread. Like 15 thread? I'm sure that'll hold us over for a while. I don't know what the thread is going to be useful for. Oh, they changed what leather looked like, because I thought it looked like Tamagotchi poo before. Now it's a roll of furriness. That looks a bit more like leather. That definitely looks like a pelt. Well done, developers. Every time I play this game, I take like 4 to 5 day breaks, because what I do is I record like 7 of these episodes at a time, and I take 4 to 5 day breaks in between each recording session. And one of the unique things about Craft the World is every single time I come back, there's something new. The developers are so on their A game about adding new stuff that I am tremendously impressed with their development schedule. It's not one of those games where I find myself wishing for new content every other day, because there is new content every other day in this game. It's tremendous the way that they go through all of it. Is everybody done now? Are we all good here? Everybody's just hauling things? Once those little bricks of silver get back, I saw a silver ingot one time. I have an ex-girlfriend whose dad, or her grandparents, that's what it was, her granddad, owned a silver mine over on the east coast of the United States. A silver mine is the past tense. That means that it has been mined out. So it's a silver mine instead of a silver mine, because it's not actively mining anything anymore. But after the silver mine shut down, he still had a few ingots around his house. They weren't worth that much. Like, it was sterling silver, and it was worth maybe like 85 bucks or 100 bucks for this little tiny ingot. It wasn't like a big one like you would see at Fort Knox or anything. It was probably about the size of your fist, but it was still a cool thing to see. I mean, how many people get to see a silver ingot? So I had never seen one up until that point. I was like, I gotta get me some ingots. You seem like you're an important person if you just have ingots laying around your house. Just a treasure hoarder. I'm gonna have him continue to mine out all of this coal, because we definitely had a coal deficit a little bit ago. I think I'm gonna leave that upper layer in there too so that he can get all those. An upper decker, if you will. Okay, fantastic. So now that we've dug out all of the coal, we'll continue down the pipe there. We do need to put in some torches here because it's dark and we'll start to get vegetation, vegetable growth. And vegetable growth sucks in this game. It's one of those little things about the gameplay that doesn't irk me. It doesn't necessarily bother me. It's an irritation, and I think it's meant to be an irritation, so I think they're getting precisely the reaction out of me that you would expect. But in any case, I would prefer to defer any of the vegetable growth until later if I can. Now that everybody's healed up, I'm sort of interested to teleport down into one of these areas and see if we can explore it. So it looks like that's a floor right there. Too far from the explored area. There we go. So now that we've lit that up, let's give them a good long time to check this place out. And we'll send him down here in the intent of kind of checking this place out and figuring out what there is to be seen. We've obviously got a beholder. We saw him before though, so that's not that big of a surprise. They should be able to murder him up pretty quickly. And so there it is. Now that he's down, we'll start removing some of these columns. I don't know what that is, so we're gonna have him mine that out too. Oh, it's just like a crystallized stone formation. Kind of like a crystallized limestone or something. Alright. And then further on in, I'm just gonna keep sending them forth so that they can sally out and get us some free columns. Oh! So you have to build the portal. Okay. Now, I don't know what it takes to build the portal. It appears as though the layers are a little bit messed up, but you have to build parts to the portal to go to the next region, and that works out okay because that does extend our gameplay a little bit, and it gives us something to work towards, which oftentimes in this game I find that I feel as though there's not a lot of things to work towards, and I would like there to be a goal. Now then, let's make ourselves some more torches. That's gonna take us resin and some other goodies. So let's bring torches on back. I think torches are in here somewhere. There we go. So let's get the wood. And we needed resin, which I'm sure we have plenty of that. Yes, indeed we do. Let's make ourselves another 100 torches or so that I don't have to worry about it for a long, long time. Torches are one of those things in crafting games that you always end up making just dozens of non-stop crafting. We've got iron ore, silver ore. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of mithril. I was going to say, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of silver, but fortunately, we do have a lot of mithril. What do I have to craft here? It's saying that there's something new. I think it's just the antique column. The columna, if you wanted to say it without leaving the N silent. Oh, there's a bunch of parts right here. So the first portal pot. It's going to take some steel, it's going to take some stone, and then different colored crystals. The second part, it appears as though they get more and more rare as you go down the pipe. Oh no, it just takes a lot of steel. Alright, so I think right now we could probably craft that thing up if we wanted to, but I'd like to see some of the later game gear, so we're going to take it slow. Maybe think about crafting one of the parts per episode from here on out. That might work out as a goal. Let's look at some of the other recipes that we have sitting around. I know we've got something here. Let's make ourselves that helmet just so we can move down the crafting tree one more step. Looks like it's going to take us one little bit of nasty iron too, and I know I'm trying to drag and drop there unsuccessfully. You would think, after 25 years of video gaming, I would be able to drag and drop things properly, but nope! Manual dexterity still eludes me. It's one of those skills that I've just never developed. Now that we've got that taken care of, it's going to need to be forged out. We've got tea. Let's make ourselves some tea. I do fancy a cup of tea every now and again, although I prefer mine to be made in the southern style, or with a little bit of lemon in it. I love myself an Arnold Palmer if I can get my hands on one, but finding somebody that knows how to make an Arnold Palmer properly is rare. There we go, we've crafted ourselves some tea. Sure, use up the remainder of the water, I don't mind. We need some new foods anyway, so it'll be what it is. We'll find some water supplies anyways to tap out from here on in, so agua. We definitely need some water. We haven't had any rain in a while, which leaves me a tad concerned. We do need that to keep ourselves from running into a drought. However, there do seem to be water supplies over in this region, so we'll spend a little bit of our mana to drop some portals over there, and then we'll give them the gather order on both of those so that we can replenish our water supply. Because if there's anything I know, it's about being out in the wilderness, is that you always want to have 1 gallon of water per day per person. That is the technical rule, although you may need a little bit more depending on how big they are. If they're a little bit heavier set, or if they've got a bit more muscle mass, or they're just like a large human being, like a 6'2". Oh, I said a large human being, which is completely different, but a large human being, I'm going to use a little bit more just based on size, but they should be alright. Hopefully there's nobody dallying down in here. We do need to think about getting rid of these termites. These termites are troublesome. I don't know if I can kill them with fireballs, which is what I was thinking about in between episodes. I do ponder things and the most efficient way to get things done while I am in my off time. However, the fireball is expensive, so let's test it out here. It looks like it's enough to kill them off. Good, so let's put in another portal here now, and we'll aid them with fireballs as need be. So we'll put the fireballs there. Where did my portal spell go? It's right there. Let's put in the portal spell, and my throat just locked up on me. I don't know why, it just did. And we'll put in the attack orders since they seem to obey those a little bit sooner than all the other orders. And what we need to do right here, oh, we leveled up, that's even better. What we need to do is, I think when you kill all the termites, you end up being able to make that go away. Like, it's not a thing you can attack. I can click it right now, see? And nothing happens. I think you have to kill all the termites, and once you've murdered all of the termites, that goes away. Unfortunately, the termites are way off in the sides and in the corners and things, but this is a very, very valuable tunnel. This is one of those tunnels that we want. Look at all the good stuff in here. There's just lovely things to be mined on every single surface. We can also get some of our scaffolds back, so that's another thing. We've been running out of scaffolds lately. Let's start off on this first layer, and we can't go much deeper. But what we can do is we can put in ladders. No, let's use the scaffolds. They're more efficient. You guys are always right. Whenever I get into the habit of using too many ladders, you guys recommend that I use scaffolds. And I don't think I've had scaffolds for a while, so maybe I'll replace those. Let's craft ourselves a bunch more scaffolds so that I don't have to worry about those either. There's plenty of wood on the map at the moment. Loads and loads of wood around to be used and perused. And so maybe I'll even use up the rest of the wood making scaffolds. Go down to like 50 right there so that I can just redeploy these whenever I need them. There we go. And so we'll drop those in place. And we'll deploy some torches down in here. That should work out. And on this side, we need some scaffolds. We get a little bit of the hi-ho Disney dwarven action on, mining these things out. That was one of my favorite scenes when I used to watch Snow White when they were mining in the gem mine, and they were just pulling enormous already cut gems out of the walls. That was one of the things that I never realized as a child, is like all the gems that they were pulling out of the walls were pre-cut. They had already been to the jeweler and then they re-put them into the walls. That's the type of mining that I myself need to get into. That's the lazy man's mining right there. Oh my god, we've got another dwarf or another goblin attack. Okay, so let's put everybody to action here. I don't think we're gonna have to use any fireballs or anything to make this go away, but we do want to make sure that the enemy gets handled before this gets way out of control. They don't appear to get any stronger. The goblins don't spawn more guys as time goes along, unlike these little invasions. These invasions remain pretty potent because they just increase in number. They just add more and more and more undead till you get to the point where you can't really do anything about it. But with the goblin invasions, what I find is that they're not necessarily so scary. They stay about the same size the entire time, so luckily we don't have any large green objects headed towards our craniums. Large and growing, I guess, would be the disgusting way to put it, but let's kill those guys off before we go any longer. And we've got a new dwarf to take care of too. Let's find him in our roster. There he is. And we'll throw some equipment on him. We do have some backstocked equipment. Equip the silver helmet now, which you guys thought I was gonna forget, but nope, I just didn't put it on anybody. I guess if we have a lumberjack, I'll give him the mithril axe so that he can chop a little bit better. Let's get back to Melkor, which they used all kinds of Lord of the Rings names in here. I think Melkor was the name of, well, is Melkor from Lord of the, I think Melkor is from Lord of the Rings. I'm having trouble referencing things anymore. My brain is just so filled with stuff. Like, you would not believe the amount of things you have to remember on a daily basis when you run an LP channel. It's ridiculous. I leave sticky notes to myself all over the house. I'm starting to look like Double D from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I just got sticky notes everywhere. Just like, remember to do this. Remember to email this guy. Oh, you got to talk to this guy tomorrow. Don't forget, this developer wanted you to hit him up. It's just like, oh my. But this is what you sign up for, my friends. I did want to talk about that. I'll probably make a video log about it, but I got a lot of requests from you guys to do a how to make LPs video, so I may jump in and do one of those and kind of walk you through my personal process and how it works. But that's one of those things for a video log. That's not for discussion here. Let's continue dropping that shaft down on in. And then we'll cut that over to the right. And I believe we're about out of time for today, but I do want to keep working on this over here. Please don't get trapped down in there. There's only 6 minutes left. Why would you go down there? Why would you do that? Because he likes being difficult. That's just who he is. So now you gotta make me cast 2 of those. Dwarves. Dwarves being dwarves and just being ridiculously difficult. Let's get up here with our scaffold. We'll grab that out of the wall. And over here, we've got a bit further to go too. And so we'll grab that. Let's take those down, and those as well. And from here, we'll drop those there. On this side, I don't necessarily think we're going to need too many scaffolds, but I'll put them in just in case. We'll mine that out, and we'll keep an eye on the empty space because I don't want to mine myself in or out of any situations here. And I may mine up to all of this, although we've already got a shaft running in there, so it's a little bit of a waste. We should also think about digging out all of that in the background because I noticed there's some minerals to be had too. Cool. Well, we should have a lot of new stuff to be lined up for the next episode, just ass tons of all of these lovely minerals. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for another episode of Craft the World. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hi to everybody and take care.